can understand why he's upset. Remember, he was here for a long time. You saw a man who was very happy when he stood behind the Oval desk. Even with the black eye, I said, "Do you want a little makeup? We'll get you a little makeup." But he said, "No, I don't think so," which is interesting. Look, Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we're well anymore. I was surprised because you were here. Everybody in this room practically was here as we had a wonderful send-off. He said wonderful things about me. You couldn't have nicer. Said the best thing. He's worn the hat. Trump was right about everything. And I am right about the great, big, beautiful bill.
A single accusation from Musk has reignited interest in the long-shrouded case of Jeffrey Epstein, the Epstein files, a term that has become synonymous with secrecy, scandal, and speculation, are back in the headlines. This time, it's not because of a court ruling or an FBI statement, but due to a very public feud between two of the world's most influential figures, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. But what exactly is this feud about, and have all the Epstein files really been released? Let's decode. It all started with a social media post. Elon Musk, the billionaire CEO, claimed that US President Donald Trump's name appears in the Epstein files, the document tied to the disgraced financier Jeffrey Epstein. However, Musk offered no proof, but the damage was done. What began as a policy dispute over taxation and electric vehicle subsidies has exploded into a feud entangled with one of America's darkest criminal investigations. Here's how Trump and US citizens are reacting to the controversy.
Elon Musk and your big, beautiful bill. What's your reaction to that? Do you think it in any way hurts passage in the Senate, which of course, what is you're seeking?
Well, look, you know, I've always liked Elon, and it's always very surprised. You saw the words he had for me, the words of, and he hasn't said anything about me that's bad. I'd rather have him criticize me than the bill, because the bill is incredible.
I think one of my first reaction was laughter at Elon's tweet about the Epstein files not being released and why, and the pettiness of it made me laugh. But after further thought, I just keep thinking, like, I can't believe this is real life right now.
I'm not really surprised, and it's really just another source of entertainment. You know, it's not like I fully expected it, but I think we all kind of knew something would happen like that. So I'm not necessarily surprised.
They're two guys who are very powerful and they have big egos. And I don't know how much of it is staged as well. You know, Trump is a reality TV guy, and people say he's said so much stuff on social media, even before he ran for president, to get attention. And it's so hard to know like how much of this is staged and how much of it is real.
I think just with two very extreme, intense personalities, it was kind of an inevitable that something was going to be the breaking point that kind of pushed them apart. So I'm not entirely surprised.
And, you know, Elon's upset because we took the EV mandate, and, you know, which was a lot of money for electric vehicles. And, you know, they're having a hard time, the electric vehicles. And they want us to pay billions of dollars in subsidy. And, you know, Elon knew this from the beginning. He knew it for a long time ago. That's been in there. That's been, I would say, JD, that hasn't changed. That's been right from the beginning, Mr. Secretary, that hasn't changed at all, right from the beginning. But I know that it disturbed him. He wanted, and rightfully, you know, he recommended somebody from that he, I guess, knew very well. I'm sure he respected him, but to run NASA, and I didn't think it was appropriate. And he happened to be a Democrat, like totally Democrat. And I say, you know, look, we won. We get certain privileges, and one of the privileges, we don't have to appoint a Democrat.
Jeffrey Epstein was a convicted sex offender and financier whose connections spanned US President, British royals, and Hollywood elites. In 2008, he pleaded guilty to child prostitution charges in Florida and received a controversial 13-month sentence under a work release program. In 2019, he was arrested again, this time on federal sex trafficking charges involving underage girls. But before his case could go to trial, Epstein was found dead in his New York jail cell. While officially ruled a suicide, the suspicious circumstances surrounding his death have fueled conspiracy theories for years, many suggesting powerful individuals wanted him silenced. What are Trump's connection to Epstein? It's known the pair were friends for almost 2 decades, but there is no publicly available evidence suggesting Mr. Trump engaged in illegal activity with Epstein. The pair were photographed together at parties Mr. Trump's private golf club Mar-a-Lago during the 1990s and early 2000s. Mr. Trump flew on Epstein's private jet a number of times in the 1990s, mostly between Florida and New York, according to documents released as a part of the trial of his associate Ghislaine Maxwell. In 2002, the future president told New York Magazine that he had known Jeff for 15 years and described the financier as a terrific guy. The Epstein files include thousands of pages of evidence, flight logs, Epstein's personal black book of contacts, photographs, and digital media seized from his properties. In early 2024, parts of these files were declassified. However, much of it, like the pilot logs and redacted witness lists, had already circulated through unofficial leaks. But newly released material included an official evidence list documenting disturbing items seized from Epstein's homes, from hard drives and memory sticks to labeled CDs and photo albums, massage table, and even handcuffs and cash-stuffed envelopes. The FBI has stated that they have reviewed the full file and confirmed Epstein died by suicide, but the surveillance footage from his jail cell will be made public only later this year. Despite the disclosures, large proportions of the case remains under seal. Many documents from Epstein's 2008 and 2019 prosecutions are still redacted. Notably, neither the FBI nor the Department of Justice has confirmed whether President Trump's name appears in the released files. Musk has also not specified which documents support his claim. For now, Musk's allegation remains unsupported by evidence. President Trump denies any involvement with Epstein beyond a distant social connection, and no official source has named him in the declassified materials. But pressure is mounting for full transparency. As long as documents remain sealed and unanswered questions linger, public trust continues to erode. And for a sitting president locked in a feud with one of the world's most influential tech titans, the political and personal stakes have never been higher.